Remember 1983? Well, gamers certainly do, because that's when the Nintendo Entertainment System was born and the marvelous character of Super Mario was invented. But where have all these games gone? It's been over 25 years and no one's really seen them. We found a store here called New to You that sells jewelry, car parts, guitars, and especially Nintendo systems and games. Do you think the NES system should be forgotten altogether?
No, I think that it should remain a classic and stay the way it was.
Should we leave the classic games alone instead of revamping them, remaking them?
I don't know. Some people enjoy having them have new graphics, so I think that it's okay to bring them back from the dust, because a lot of kids these days don't really know about the classics anyway.
That's true. For a gamer just starting out, what do you suggest would be a great game to start with?
I personally think that any gamer starting out, giving their kids a first game, should give them Mega Man 2. It's a great side-scroller.
And do you own an NES?
I do own an NES and 50 games.
Okay. How many consoles do you own?
I'd say probably about 6 or 7.
And how often do you play?
I normally play my 360. I haven't really touched my classics in a while.
Why is it nowadays we cannot find any of these old classic Nintendo systems or games? Why? Because many of them have been recreated or remastered and now are obsolete. For example, in 1987, Japan created a game called Final Fantasy for the original Nintendo system. This game has been a classic and is very rare to come by nowadays. One reason is because they're making new Final Fantasy on PlayStation. With this Final Fantasy now on PlayStation, it makes the Nintendo system obsolete. And what about Super Mario, the game that started it all? Well, you can still find it in some shops, but most of them are labeled for free. How could we label this free when this was the pioneer of video games? Do you think the Nintendo system should be completely forgotten from existence?
No, I think the NES actually has a really important part in the history of video games. It basically is what brought video games back from the brink of destruction. There was a huge collapse in like 1983 after Atari basically like went down this shithole.
Absolutely not. It was probably one of the most fun, like the funnest gaming system there was invented ever, so definitely not.
Do you think the old Nintendo games should be remastered and revamped for new systems?
I'd actually love to see that happening. It kind of already is with certain games. There's some of the older Mario games that are coming back on the WiiWare platform. So Nintendo really is kind of capitalizing in on the whole bringing back those old retro games. That's one of the reasons I actually like the Wii. I'm not really big into the whole motion sensing thing, but you can get a lot of old games on it.
Of course, if they revamped the entire system and updated the whole thing and like including the games, that would be really cool if you could, play the same games now, but if they were in the same quality as like Xbox games or whatever, so that'd be pretty cool.
Do you own an NES?
Yeah, I do actually.
I used to when I was a kid. I wish I still had one. I have no idea where that thing went.
How many games?
I've got about 16 games for the older NES, and you know how to do repairs on them too.
What's your favorite game?
Super Mario.
You work at EB Games, correct?
That I do.
And do you sell any of the old Nintendo systems or games?
The oldest thing that we sell is the N64s, which are still cartridge-based.
Do you believe that your store should carry some of the old Nintendo systems?
I think that you can carry almost the rarer games, because those would probably have a profitability margin to them for collectors. But as for carrying a lot of the older ones, no. There are specialty stores for that, though.
Well, there you have it, folks. NES is here to stay and will always remain a classic. As long as places like this will keep selling those games. Oh, would you look at this? This is the game I've always been looking for. Right here on NES. I can't believe it. This is Jeremy Susko signing off, and I'm going to buy this for myself. See you folks later.